Hello, it's your boy Noisy Andrew here, and I'm standing in front of one of my favourite things. It's a map of the West Australian government railway system in 1938 when it was pretty close to its heyday. There are railway lines going everywhere because back in the turn of the last century, or is it the century before, the government promised to get farmers, I think, within 10 miles of a railhead wherever they are. So they built railway lines everywhere. Now, we don't need all of those railway lines now because transport needs in Western Australia have changed. Now, there's been modernisation. In the beginning of the year 2000, our Conservative state government effectively privatised this network by leasing it to a private corporation for 49 years. And in that time, there's been a few name changes and what have you, but if you go to the current webpage, you can see they are boasting that they have increased the amount of freight they carry in those 25 years by 125%. That's a 1% per annum growth on average. Which business would boast about that? That's an embarrassment. They also say they've spent $2 billion on the network in that time. That's also piddling in today's economy. Why are they boasting about this? It's also worth pointing out that in that period of time, they've closed over a third of the network. Just shut it down because they couldn't be bothered with it. Maybe that's why you've only increased your freight 1% a year. Anyway, I read in infrastructure, thanks to the dear woman for sharing it with me, that the state government are in negotiations to buy the network back off them, basically buy the lease out. I've got some advice for you, Transport Minister. Just take it off them. It's not worth anything like it was worth when you gave it to them, well, when the opposition gave it to them 25 years ago. It's worth a lot less now. Just take it off them. And if they argue about that and take you to court, that's probably going to be cheaper for the West Australian taxpayer than actually having to pay for it. Just take it off them. They do not deserve it. Hello, it's Editing Andrew here. I've thought of a few more things I'd like to say. Please share this video around with your fellow West Australians. I think this is a really, really important thing. Because these railway lines have been closed, there are thousands of trucks on the road, heavy haulage trucks, BWs and multiple combinations, and this is probably the most heavily taxpayer-funded industry in Australia. There's no way those big trucks pay for the damage they do to the roads. In fact, they probably couldn't even afford to pay for it if we charged them. So we need our railways back. And while we're there, we need an exit policy for all the small businesses that have invested in road haulage transport so that they can get out of it without going bankrupt when stuff is moved back to railway and our bulk transport system becomes efficient again. If you like trains, maybe go and have a look at my Party Meeple channel. I will put a link in. I've designed a few train games. I'm very pro trains. And thanks for watching this far.